What is up, janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and the day has come. We can celebrate Standard without the Meathook Massacre. Oh, it's happening. It's a beautiful thing. That's right, we're doing it. No Meathook, and as a result, we are going tokens. We are going tokens, and we are going wide. But before I get into the card-by-card breakdown of the deck tech, I do want to give a huge thank you to some folks who actually are really important to keep this channel afloat. So I want to say a huge thank you to our mythic patrons, Angry Jellyfish and Else89. Thank you so much for the support. It makes a huge difference. I appreciate you. And you out there watching, if you want to have your name included on this list for as little as $1 a month, you can do so over at patreon.com. There is a link in the description below. I'd appreciate it very, very much if you consider that. Thank you so much. That means the world. And I also want to give a huge thank you to magicjank.com, the sponsor of this video and all the videos on the channel. They are a brand new website where you can buy and sell Magic the Gathering products. There are also giveaways going on there regularly. As of the month when I'm recording this, there's actually a giveaway for a playmat that even has my silly little face on it. So that is something that you can get actually over there just for entering. It's a straight up giveaway. So please, oh, and there's also one where you can get 6 Streets of New Capenna packs. So if that's like physical card packs, if that's something that you are intrigued by, go check it out. Appreciate it very, very much. That is magicjank.com. Again, links in the description below. So thank you so much to them for supporting the show. Thank you to the patrons. And with that, let's get into the deck tech. All right, so as promised, this is Go Wide Tokens, which is, of course, the strategy that Meathook Massacre single-handedly dunks on so effectively. We are, of course, getting around that now. We no longer have Meathook in the format. So yes, there are a number of board wipes that can still hurt this, but none of them are as ubiquitous and main deckable as the Meathook Massacre. So let's see, how are we starting off? So at our 1-drop slot, we have Lunarch Veteran. Now, this is not necessarily a life gain deck. We don't have a ton of life gain synergies. However, gaining a little bit of life just by putting bodies on the board is pretty fantastic and give us a lot of breathing room later in the game by gaining us, some life early so we can take a couple hits. We don't necessarily have to block, and that's okay because we have a little cushion in our life total. That's very, very important. Also, this disturbs into a flyer, which might be relevant. So if it does die early, we have an opportunity to get it back as a valuable resource later if we have mana lying around. Not bad. We also have Intrepid Adversary. When you're going wide, this card's a house. If you have 4 mana, it comes down as a 4/2 lifelinker for 4. That also gives the entire team +1/+1. Are you kidding? This thing's awesome. Yeah, Intrepid Adversary is a house. Also, if we have even more mana late in the game for one reason or another when we cast it, it could be an anthem that scales even bigger. Like, yeah, it's just great. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just awesome. We have Resolute Reinforcements. This is 2 mana and you get 2 bodies. You can also cast it at flash speed so your opponent doesn't see it coming. It's exactly what we're looking for. We need bodies on board. That is the name of the game. And Resolute Reinforcements definitely does that. We also have a casual 2 of Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. 2/1 first striker for 2 is already good enough. It is worth the price of admission. She is also a human, which is of note. You'll notice we have a lot of humans in the mix so far. No, the soldier token that this creates is not a human for some reason, even though clearly depicting a human, but whatever. Actually, there are a lot of those. There are a lot of soldiers who are clearly humans that aren't humans, as far as the rules are concerned. In any event, but Thalia is great. Human soldier. It also costs. It also taxes all non-creature spells by 1. So that's pretty darn useful. Being able to hate on your opponent's spells. It does hate on your own, of which we do have a couple. We have a couple non-creature spells, so we do need to be very careful about how we use Thalia in this deck, which is why it's a 2 of. It's not like a guaranteed like slam you definitely want on turn 2. Now, the one card that we do definitely want on turn 2 is Catilda. Catilda, Dawnheart Prime. The reason that I pointed out all of those beautiful humans earlier is because Catilda has this ability. Human creatures you control have tap, add 1 many. Add 1 many? Add 1 many. Indeed, that's a sentence that I just said, I guess. Add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. So a lot of these, all of these creatures all of a sudden tap for 1 white, all of a sudden. So that ramps us in a really big way, which is also one way to get around, we're not too worried about Thalia's ability if we can just ramp like crazy. And also, Thalia has this ability where you can pay 6, tap, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So if we have succeeded in going stupid wide, she's also an overrun like anthem effect, kinda, which is really cool. It's pretty darn nice. Now, of course, we wouldn't be going wide in tokens in this current standard without Wedding Announcement. This card is a house. It is the obligatory 2 to 3 for 1 on a 3-drop in white. And it happens to line up with our strategy perfectly. Just is what it is. Like, if you're running red, you run Fable the Mirror Breaker. If you're running white, you're run Wedding Announcement. It's just perfect for what it does, and it can set up a strategy by itself by giving you tokens and drawing you cards, and then being an anthem for your squad. It's great. The card is just great. If you remember Glorious Anthem back in the day, it was 1 white for just the wedding festivities portion of it. That card used to be considered fantastic. This thing makes it completely obsolete in my opinion. Absolutely savage. This card is amazing, so of course we're running it. We also have Welcoming Vampire. As you've noticed, a lot of the bodies that we're putting on board are pretty darn small. So of course, as we're putting those small bodies on board, I would like to be drawing cards. That's pretty nice. Welcoming Vampire also synergizes super well with Resolute Reinforcements, because in a lot of situations, the Welcoming Vampire will get a trigger when you put something in on your turn, but then you can also trigger it on your opponent's turn, which is really cool, which is not always easy to do. But reinforcements can do that, so that's pretty darn nice. So you can actually draw 2 cards throughout the course of a turn cycle if you can activate that flash speed. Pretty neat. I like it. We also have Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. This is yet another massive value 3-drop in a white go wide strategy. Not only do we get a token generating creature that I think had been originally designed for Commander, and then they realized, the Magic populace all around kind of realized, no, she's just awesome even in 1v1. So it's a token producer. Every time you attack, whether she's attacking or not, you just poop out a 1/1 that's attacking. So that already triggers our Welcoming Vampire. Dope. You'll love to see it. And as well as some other things we have going on later. So Adeline's awesome in that regard. But then her power is also equal to the number of creatures you have. So as you can imagine, that number gets really big really fast in this deck. So she doesn't have Trample, which is a little bit of a problem, but she does have Vigilance, and she has 4 Toughness. So yeah, no, awesome. Freaking awesome. Able to take a punch, able to deliver some punishment, and bring a bigger army. And as she creates those tokens, her power grows. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, then we also have King Darien XL, the extra large. This guy is awesome. 2/3 for 3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. That alone worth the price of admission. I'm already in. Then, if it's late in the game and we're in top deck mode and we don't have any action, we can pay 5 to put a +1/+1 counter on Darien and poop out a 1/1 soldier, which is of course a 2/2 soldier because of Darien's other ability. But wait, there is even more. Sacrifice King Darien. Creature tokens you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So needless to say, going wide with tokens, this guy is exactly where we want to be. So we've got the Intrepid Adversary, we've got King Darien, we have the Wedding Announcement, we've got the Anthems. There's no mistaking it. We are buffing our squad while going wide. That is the name of the game. And Darien is a great piece of that. The other cool thing that's really cool is being able to protect our tokens means that we could theoretically save a portion of our board state from a board wipe that would allow us to stay in a game that otherwise would be lost. So that's really darn useful. Just good. It's just good. Like, I gotta say, all the pieces. That's the thing. This deck is taking advantage of a lot of pieces that Wizards planned. Like, they seeded all of this. It's all together. They clearly designed all this action, you know, with these kinds of strategies in mind. It's just Meathook has made them all impossible to play. Now, is this the perfect, is this the perfect list of these? Not necessarily. I'd love to hear what you have to say and what you think. Please let me know in the comments below if there are any tweaks that you would make to maybe the proportions, if there are any cards that you don't see here that you'd like added. But anyway, I get ahead of myself a little bit. We also have 3 Wandering Emperor. You'll notice we don't have that much removal. That's something that we just don't seem to have. One card that I've tried to use in this list was actually Jaya Ballard. Jaya Fiery Negotiator is the one. That's the name. Well, her name's Jaya Ballard, but Jaya Ballard Fiery Negotiator. It was fine. It was a creature factory that could also be removal, and it proved strong, but not quite strong enough. It was a little slow for what we needed it to do. Meanwhile, Wandering Emperor helps when we're behind. It establishes a token factory, which is exactly what we want, as many of those as we can get. And it's the fact that it can come in at flash speed and be a combat trick out of nowhere. Like, the different modes on Wandering Emperor proved just stronger, which is no surprise. Like, we know this card is good. So, of course, it was good in this deck. like over other options. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We also have one Helena and Elena. It's kind of cheeky. At the end of the day, green red are so strong. Like if you have green red, Helena and Elena is super strong, and we do. Like we have a splash for green and a splash for red. You'll notice the deck is primarily white, but Helena and Elena are just freaking awesome, and in certain games they can just take over it, especially if we have effects where we do have anthems online, because that only makes them stronger. Like it gets out of hand really fast. To be honest, we might want to bump this up to 2, but I'm not quite sure what to cut is the thing. But yeah, Helena and Elena they're good. Like I don't know what else to say. If you care about combat and you're in these colors, they're just fantastic. Like yeah, just put them in the deck. Speaking of fantastic, we're in 3 colors here. We're in Naya, so of course we have Jetmir, the Nexus of Rebels, the Naya Fat Cat. Well, sorry, not the Naya, the Cabaretti Fat Cat himself. Yeah, pretty cool. Needless to say, this is one of those. There's a lot of text here. You probably are familiar. The card gives a power boost as well as relevant keywords at, you know, as you grow your army. And so if we are successful in getting a huge squad, if we have 9 or more creatures, all of our creatures get +3/+0 vigilance, trample, and double strike. If we can get that, that's usually game over. Turns out giving your entire army an Ember Cleave usually wins you the game. It's crazy, right? Who would have thought? And you may be wondering, okay, that's all fine and good, but like what I've seen so far could easily get 4, 5, 6 tokens on, or, you know, bodies on board in combat. Sure, but like 9 is a lot. Like, well, and for that we have Rabble Rousing. If you have never had the distinct privilege of having 5 creatures on the board and a Jetmir hit away under Rabble Rousing, oh man, have you even lived? It's awesome. If we can line that up, we attack with all 5, poop out 5 more tokens, Jetmir hits the battlefield, we now have 11 creatures on board, everybody's wielding an Ember Cleave, 5 of them are swinging in, life is good. That is doing the thing, that is the dream. That's ultimately what we're trying to accomplish with this deck. Rabble Rousing sweet. It's a 3 of because it just does what it does. It pumps out tokens like nobody's business, which is exactly what we need. We need to be pumping out tokens like crazy. This deck is also beautifully positioned in the current meta, assuming the mono black decks are still a thing, which to be honest, since the ban went into effect just yesterday, as of the recording of this, they have already seemed to have fallen out of favor to some degree. Like I'm running into them far less than I used to, because the truth is that deck works very, very well if your opponent only has 1 or 2 creatures at any given time, because effects like Invoke Despair and Liliana are great at forcing your opponent to sacrifice a creature. Well, this deck is going to have a ton of little 1/1 tokens lying around that it doesn't care about. So you down take a Liliana, oh no, I lose a 1/1 token. Like that might be relevant, but it's probably not going to be, like in the big picture. And that's okay, you know? So this deck it really folds to board wipes, but aside from that, it's pretty solid, like shockingly so. I'm actually really impressed with what I've been able to do with it so far, and I'm hoping that when we take it out into the ladder here for this video, that it can hold up and do the same. So yeah, if you enjoy what we're doing here, if you enjoy these kinds of detailed deck techs, that is definitely something that I do. We are going to be getting into some gameplay as well. Please hit the like, subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, or the bell. You know, it's YouTube. Do the YouTube stuff. You're watching YouTube. I have no doubt I'm not the first person you've ever watched on YouTube. Do the stuff. Do the stuff people ask you to do. It'd be nice. It helps a lot. All right. Anyway, with that, let's get into some gameplay. See what we can do. All right. We don't have anything as early as I would like. Like a Lunarch Veteran here would be really sweet, but obviously that's not coming together. But you know what? Let's keep it. Worst case scenario, we can throw the Intrepid Adversary on 2, so that we have a body on board that can then immediately attack the same turn as we play Adeline. Could be worse. I mean, at that point, the Intrepid Adversary is just a 3/1 lifelinker for 2, but we're going up against mono red. So one of 2 things: it's either not going to survive, or that lifelink's going to be a really big frickin' deal. So cool, especially now that we got another one. Let's go. Sick. Next turn, farmland, Adeline, swing. Now, they're going to drop a critter that's going to come into play with some stuff, is my guess. No, they're going to lightning strike my adversary. Fair enough. And here comes the 3/3 Phoenix chick. Yep, that's a thing. Bummer, yo. All right. Well, here comes an Adeline. So that's a 1/4 that can tangle with some of these 2/2s. That's not nothing. But that 3/3 in the air is really where we're gonna be struggling. They're not attacking with either etching. I'm very confused by that. They could have gotten for a free 2 damage. They chose not to. I'm not offended. Don't get me wrong. I'm just confused. All right, Oppo, what you got? Show me what you got. They're playing defensively. It's not something that you see these aggro decks do very often, but that's okay. I'm definitely not offended. Definitely not upset by the idea. Thalia is interesting. Could definitely make future burn attempts a little more difficult for them. This little 1/1 is gonna eat it really hard, and that's okay. Or they're gonna double block Adeline. Rock on, I got a spare, so. We unfortunately only take 1 Kumano out in the process, which is a bummer, to be fair. To be fair. Bloodthirsty Adversary, gonna probably grab that Lightning Strike, pick off my Welcoming Vampire, and make me super sad in the process. Yeah, definitely making me super hella sad. Don't like that. Not a huge fan of being hella sad. All right, now. There's not much we can do here. They have 3 damage in the air. We need to get an additional blocker on the ground. So I'm going to go Adversary this time. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the buff. Because Lifelink's nice. I like Lifelink. Now, there are a lot of things they could do here. Oh, and just swing with just the Phoenix Chick. They got it. Kumano off the top was exactly what they needed. Dag nabbit. Oh man, that could not have lined up worse. Our opponent sequenced well, to be fair. They played a good game. But yeah, that was not our game. My goodness. 3 minutes in, it's over. That's why decks like that are on the ladder, everybody. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, see if I can put up something that's not an utter embarrassment. This hand is looking decent. It's a real shame we don't have mana for a good 1-drop. Also, Thalia with Wedding Announcement and Rabble Rousing in hand is kind of a bummer. If I'm honest. Like, the mana did not line up well. Because if we drop Thalia on 2, we can no longer hit Wedding Announcement on 3. So we're in a position where we kind of have to play Lunarch Veteran on 2 into a Wedding Announcement on 3 and possibly Thalia on 4, which is like, I mean, it's fine, but it's not great, you know? Or we could keep Resolute Reinforcements back. You know what? I'm gonna throw the Veteran. I'm gonna throw the Vet. We're gonna leave 1 mana stranding, or stranded, I should say. Which is not ideal, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to play the Wedding Announcement straight into a Make Disappear or Negate. Let's see what they got. There's no tap blue, I just assume. Ooh, Syncopate, Secret Option C. Okay, fair enough. Doink. All right, maybe Thalia would have been the right choice there. Oh well. And they missed a land drop. Pretty excited about that. If Thalia sticks, we probably have this game just in the bag. Thalia sticks. Groovy. So they missed their 3rd land drop, and everything's taxed now. They got a 2nd white. They don't have a 2nd blue yet. Gonna try to play Adeline. Does this resolve, y'all? Does. Excellent. And then it gets Fatefully Absent. It's not how that should be worded, but that's okay. Gets hit by a Fateful Absence. That makes way more sense. Alright. So Kenzin, I'm 100% just casting that out. As much as I want to just stick Jet and call it a day, I'm gonna go ahead and swing first, ask questions later, keep our mana up for Resolute Reinforcements on their turn. And step, I'm gonna go ahead and draw us a card. I like drawing cards, it makes me happy. Here's the Resolute Reinforcements, more bodies. Well, Intrepid Adversary with the buff. crashing in for a fair amount of damage. Opponent might have a board wipe, which would be mildly problematic. But if they don't, they're just dead. It's kind of where they're at. And yeah, we got them. All right, good, good, good. See, there we go. That was... It wasn't like the most amazing, most explosive gameplay, and our opponent did stumble on lands early. And to be fair, they only had one blue. So they easily could have been sitting on a couple like Urtai Scorns or things like that with double blue in it that they weren't able to use. So, all in all, it's fine. I'll take it. But as you can see, creatures. Creatures go face. Go creatures, go face. That easy. That's the name of the game. That's what we're doing. We got Catilda. It's a two-lander, but the double wedding announcement could be amazing, potentially. I'm gonna try this. This is a greedy keep. This is a very greedy, very sketchy keep, but I say we try it. See what we do. All right. Going against the Jam Master Messiah over here. Let's go. Or Jesus, I suppose. Anyway. Perfect. That play is actually the perfect draw. Catilda. Boom. Catilda Dawnheart Prime. Protection from werewolves. Chew on that opponent. And all those werewolves that you got running around. Actually, I suppose that is really nice against Graveyard Trespasser, now that I think about it. Like, believe it or not, I had not considered that, but it actually is great in that context. Alright. We can jet set here. I think we just gotta use Catilda as the mana dork they were meant to be and get the wedding announcement online. Now, our opponent also on Naya, interestingly enough. Also, it was recently pointed out, I had never noticed this until somebody on my stream earlier today pointed it out. All of the triomes have fancy animations now, except Jetmir's Garden. For some reason, Jetmir's Garden does not have an animation when it enters the battlefield. What the heck is up with that? Come on, justice for Jetmir's Garden. We gotta make it happen. Ooh, stimulus package. Ooh, okay, our opponent is on some goofy stuff. I'm here for it. Okay. Welcoming Vamp. Gonna go ahead and throw the Veteran. Ooh, drawing another Veteran. That actually is a killer draw in this situation. Boom to boom. Let's keep it going. Gain a little bit of life. Dump out another token. Alright, we're doing stuff. It's happening. It's coming together. Gain some more life. Ching, ching, ching. And notably, because of Catilda, all of these humans that we have are, in fact, mana dorks. That is very cool. I like that. Because a lot of these homies are human. Actually, all of them except the vampire. Janae. Ginny Faye. Jetmir second. Okay. There's Adeline. Great card. Obviously, I'm a fan. Okay, they're going to attack in. The token that Adeline produces can now be a 3/1 dog. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Gotta give him that. That's pretty neat. Let's just block with those. Ganjo is pretty dope, to be fair. But I think I need the land, first and foremost. Let's go ahead and drop this adversary. Let's go ahead and pump some mana into this thing. And by some, I mean all of it. Boom! Whole squad gets +3/+3, no big deal, just saying. And we're just gonna pop out a 4/4 and the Glorious Anthem, so it pops off, so now it's a 5/5. Big O team! We got a big O team here, everybody. Didn't draw a single card off wedding announcement. I don't even care. The tokens were totally worth it. The amount of mana that we've sunk into this, we are playing an aggro deck like a ramp deck, and I am so here for it. All right. Assuming they might have an Aganjo or something of that nature to pick off our adversary. Emp. Oh, dang, that's actually perfect. I can give Adeline first strike. Doggone it. Well played, opponent. Well played. Okay. Yep. Not super jazzed about that, not gonna lie. Buckingarian XL is gonna come in. Boom, boom, boom. That's gonna give us a free shot on their imp. Gotta take advantage of that while we can. And we could drop a fresh wedding announcement, which I think is exactly what I'm gonna do. And unfortunately, because of all the Anthem effects now, we are not drawing cards off the Welcoming Vampire because even 1/1s are entering the battlefield as 3/3s, which is a nice problem to have, to be fair, but still, it's kind of a bummer in that regard. But that's okay. All good, all good. Yep, they're gonna send in the clowns. Gonna pop out some dogs. All right, we're gonna block here. We are gonna block here. And I believe we're gonna block here. So yes, we are gonna lose a lot. But I think it'll be worth it in the end. We'll see, we'll see. Here we go. Get rid of their Adeline is probably worth the price of admission on its own. Oh, and beside you for the Rabble Rousing. Let's go. Poop. Get that out of here. I say poop. That's not what I meant to say, but you know what? Pop, poop. What's the difference? All good, baby. All good. Get a little silly, but what can I say? Tis what it is. Now, we keep the mana up for the imp, but to be honest, I'm not too enthused about that. So let's throw the Phantom, which should come in as a 2/2, which triggers Welcoming Vampire, also gains us a life. Boom, chick-a-pow, let's go. Now, if I attack, I'm going to want to attack with two things. That way we draw the card. Actually, no. I'm going to draw a card anyway off Vamp. Actually, I'm just going to chill for now. I'm just going to jockey for position and keep the Wandering Imp back. I'm okay with that. Totally okay with this. Another Adeline. Don't love that. Definitely don't love that. Yeah, just gonna swing in with one just to... Yeah, oh, here comes the squad. Okay, sure, sure, sure. Rock out a little homie. Sure, sure, sure. Gonna block there. Gonna block there. There, there, and there. Alright, any combat chicanery opponent? Apparently not. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and throw this down, and I'm gonna go ahead and give first strike to this little homie. Ching ching. Remember your training. All right. And we're still gaining life. And we have a Spirit Catilda in hand, who is going to enter the battlefield as a 2/2, which means we will draw, which is nice. Or we can actually throw the Ludark Veteran first, even. Cool. I like gaining life. Gaining life is nice. Oh, and drawing cards. That's pretty cool too. I'll take it. Comes a fresh Catilda because we can. Ching ching. Ching ching ching. Yeah, let's go Samurai here because we can. And we'll swing in with the Flyers. This is going to draw us a card off Wedding Announcement, and then the whole team's going to buff with the flip to the Wedding Festivities. They're cycling into Jetmir's Garden, and we draw our closer. Alright, that feels pretty good. Galligrators, okay. Into a Wedding Announcement. Great turn. Like, that's a fine turn. They can't really afford to attack with Adeline here, because she straight up trades for a Samurai. Ambo definitely does not want to do that. Poop out a treasure, sure, sure, sure. Now, if we get into Rabble Rousing off the top, that would be delicious. I'm glad I'm not the only one out here running around with Rabble Rousing. I'm really glad I'm not, because it's, like, it's just fun. And with Meathook Band, it's like, of course you try it. Like, why wouldn't you? Alright. Let's go. I will gladly take one off the pain land for Jetmir, the mother flippin' Nexus of Revels. Boom! Double strike, trample, vigilance, whole squad. Boom, baby. We got there in the end. So there we go. That's what I'm talking about. We ended up having a fun Rabble Rousing mirror match, which is pretty neat. I'm glad somebody else out here is trying it. We had slight variations in our build, but we were able to eke out, get the better top decks in the end. The cards we drew off Welcoming Vampire, I think, were a major key to our success there. But all in all, well, and getting 2 wedding announcements. We got 2 wedding announcements. That's pretty rad. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do at least one more. See if we can keep this going. Wow, this actually is one of the better hands we've seen, and it doesn't even seem to have the early mana problems that I've grown kind of accustomed to with this deck. So yeah, turn 1 planes into a Lunarch Veteran. Let's go. And we can even throw, if I'm feeling saucy, we can even throw Beside You on 2 to have access to, or no, sorry, not Beside You. We can throw Carprusen Forest to have access to Beside You on 2 if we really, really want to. To be honest though, I think I'm going to choose not to do that. Instead, I'm probably gonna throw Jetmir's Garden. I want my colors just set. I don't want to have any color issues later. I want my mana set. So we're just gonna get that in place. Those Triomes, man, if you're in a 3-color deck, those Triomes are just so good. That Plains, the artwork on that Plains. It's good looking Plains. Anyway, just saying. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here. There are some slight delays, so it looks like our opponent has something. I'm gonna try to stick a Vamp. Vamp sticks. Happy days. Faithful Mending, okay. Interesting, what do they discard? I'm always intrigued to see what my opponents discard when they use effects like this, because you get a ton of intel into what kind of deck they're running, especially because there's so many decks that leverage combo pieces out of the graveyard. Like if they discard a vehicle, Greasefang's in that deck. I guarantee it. Now, like that's, you know, we'll see. Faithful Mending and Greasefang do get along very nicely. And then they chuck 2 lands. That actually doesn't, and they're not even in any different colors. So it looks like they're dedicated to Azorius. I don't know if that's likely to be control or some kind of aggro situation. I'm guessing it's probably control. Creation in. Got any bounces there, Oppo? Or just straight up kill spells. That's also an option. Boom, baby. All right. So Welcoming Vamp here is certainly tempting. However, I have a feeling Thalia is going to be a real thorn in their side, so I want to get her online fast, because that deck's probably going to want to drop a lot of like 2 and 3 drops, and I want to make those 3 and 4 drops. Against control, you know, Spellslinger style decks, Thalia puts in some work, so I'm hoping that can happen here. I'm hoping for work. Okay. And we have the Plaza of Heroes back, so we can protect Thalia if they try to target her with something. But if they were going to do that, they probably would have already, so. Gets in, let's go. You know what? I'm just going to keep Plaza back. I'm just going to guard Thalia. They're going to mend, okay. Now what do they discard? Do we actually get viable information this time, or is it just going to be a couple lands again? Although to be fair, them discarding lands does tell me they have plenty of lands in hand. It's not nothing. And that's not no information. It's just not great. You know, like it doesn't give us much to work with. All right, so what are you chucking, Oppo? Show me that graveyard. What you got? What you got? Now, to be fair, we are also not really drawing anything worthwhile. So what we've got here is a situation where if they try to go after Thalia, we can use Plaza of Heroes to keep her alive. If they don't, we can cycle Jetmir's Garden, hopefully draw into some action. So that's the idea. Our opponent's got on the draw go plan, so they are trying to go for some kind of counter move. Like I don't doubt that they have make disappears and the like in there. So if we tried to just rip over Rabble Rousing next turn, like if we're lucky enough to draw into it, that's gonna eat a counter so fast it's not even funny. So we're looking for things like Wandering Emperor or reinforcements, Hullbreaker and Leer. F me, those cards are good. They just chucked them. Now they have black in Rafine's Tower. Are we about to see a 5-mana reanimate hit the field? Oh, definitely not, because it'd be 6. Don't mind me. All right, let's try to cycle this. Now if they remove for Thalia, they can rip it. Amp? What up, girl? I was just talking about you. All right, cool, cool. All right, we're crashing in. Ooh, they have an imp of their own. Fair enough. All right, so Thalia's gonna eat it here, which is kind of whatever. Yeah, so it's gonna be a net gain of 1 life for them. But now, I can freely do this. Welcoming Vamp into a Thalia. We draw a card, gain 2 life. And now Thalia's back on board. So, that's nice. Let's just hit another Lunarch Veteran. Now, if our opponent has a board wipe, we're in rough shape. But if they don't, we're freaking golden here. So let's see, do they have the Depop or something of that nature? They'd have to pay all 5 for it. They'd have to tap out for a Depop right now. But to be honest, tapping out for a Depop and then down ticking, getting a Samurai on board is actually not a bad spot to be. Or even just up ticking with no effect, just so the Wandering Emperor is on 2 loyalty. And then you can start popping out Samurai later. Not a bad spot to be. Like, that's the thing. Our opponent is not in a bad position here, believe it or not. Ooh, they poop out the Samurai first. That tells me they likely do not have any kind of board wipe. And Resto, good card. This is gonna give them planes. I don't believe they played their land for turn, so they can drop that and then have like make disappear up. So that's something. We could Iganjo that, which is tempting to be sure. Well, what 2 drops are in here that they could grab? And that's the land. But they're running some fatties, so... But this just gives them a land, so... Alright, don't mind me, everybody. I'm just being slow. Let's crash in with the squad. We're here to go aggro. Aggro's how we'll go. Alright. I'm gonna try to imp. Seems to resolve, no delay. That is great. Doink, doink. Followed by a doink, doink. Alright. Sick. They choose not to discard a card so they don't get the free land. They've got 5 cards and they like them all. Interesting. Very interesting. Hullbreaker Horror. It's been a minute since I've seen a horror. They're 1 mana off from being able to cast horror. That's good. I like that. It's my turn. Let me do it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and throw the Lunarch Veteran. This is going to draw us a card off Welcoming Vamp. I enjoy that. I really do. Not going to lie. Land for turn. Fine by me. Okay, down tick. Rocket Samurai, gain some more life. Trigger, 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 trigger. I'm feeling very triggered. Attack with the squad. They might have another Imp. Which if they do, they're probably going after the Vampire because it's my card draw engine, which is fair. Graveyard Shift. Instant speed. Very nice. Okay. Hullbreaker. The moment the lobster hits the field, usually the game is over. Let's see if that's the case here. I'd like to keep my Thalia around. If you're going to be following that up with spells, you got to pay for them. Alright. And we still have the boss back, so that's something. The boss being my nickname for Masaijo, who endures. I think the boss fits it. Alright. Also, sometimes you just gotta click on little blood puddles. Is that just me? Alright, who we bouncing? The fact that I can hit any non-land permanent, man, this card's good. Yeah, bouncing the token, sure. Makes sense. Hullbreaker's so good. I'm actually really surprised we don't see more of it in the current standard. Yeah, our opponent's got the right idea. And this deck, outside of Emperor, we're not really running kill spells. You know? So, that's a thing. Like, we don't have a good answer for this. Especially with how much life our opponent is gaining just incidentally through things like Faithful Mending and their own Emperor. Like, that makes it hard because we're on the beatdown plan. That's how we're trying to win this. Excuse me. Yeah. Couple more lands. Okay. They are going to swing the Hullbreaker. Interesting. And we do get to declare the blocker. That's pretty nice. That's very nice. I like how this is looking. My turn. Go to the main phase. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Down tick. Now, they can bounce the Hullbreaker if they have another spell. Yeah, so they can use that to bounce the Hullbreaker. And that's okay. Because it gets it off the field, frankly. Just get it off the freaking field. I am totally on board for that. They're going to be able to cast that out next turn. But I think that gives us enough of a tempo advantage. Okay. Yeah, I think that gives us enough of a tempo advantage. So we're gonna gain life, draw cards, hit our land for turn. That's nice. Play out a Jetmir, Nexus of the Mother Flippin' Rebels. Gain a couple more life. And then, because that one creature they have happens to be an enchantment, besides you'll pop it like it's hot. And then we can start swinging. Sick. Got him. Oh, that felt good. That was a game, everybody. That felt really good. Our opponent was doing some cool stuff there. I love me a good reanimation strategy. Love it. So, like, Graveyard Shift, I think. Graveyard Shift into Hullbreaker Horror, phenomenal line. Like, that is an underrated setup, and our opponent was taking advantage of it. We just so happened to have the right interplay and that right top deck. Being able to get Jetmir at that point was clutch. So, yeah, we got there in the end. This was super fun. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe button, do all the various YouTube things. Also, check out magicjank.com. Magicjank.com, that is. Sorry, not very eloquent. As someone who tries to talk all day, you'd think I would have that down by now. In any event, magicjank.com to buy and sell all of your Magic the Gathering products. Singles, packs, sleeves, boxes, dice, you name it, we got it. So check them out. Would love to hear your feedback there. And definitely leave a comment below as well. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.